we had a little issue with the last taping, so here we go again.
Well, I'm going to do it till you do it right.
Yes, that's right.
First thing we're going to take a look at today is the 7th of March. March happens to be a 9 universal month. So for every man, woman, and child, the 9 is about endings, wrapping up old issues, making way for new things, reconnecting with people from the past, maybe just temporarily. It may go longer than that. But the 7 days says it's all about spirituality, communication, sharing, but being a little reserved about what we think we're going to receive from what's taking place. Kind of pull back a little bit. That should be interesting for you because you're born in a 7 month. And that 7 month tells me that you are somewhat suspicious of things,
Yes.
very much spiritually inclined by issues going on.
Yes.
And the 17 of the birthday we reduce to an 8 because we take single digits, it's easier. So the 7 and the 8 is a 15-6. So for you, everything is about family this year.
Mm-hmm.
Can't get away from it. It's how you lay things out. Because in the combination of these two for you, we are in a universal 6 year. So for you, it's all about creativity, communication, and sharing.
Lovely.
And also being a little scattered, trying to do too many things at one time. Kind of like having one foot on the banana peel, the other one holding onto the door.
Right.
But it's really good. When we take a look at the birth name itself, we take a look at the first name is the physical self, where one works, where they live, what they do. Looking at that, I look at the first vowel, first consonant. For you, that becomes a 6 because the S is 1 and the E is a 5. So that 6 added to the fact that you are a 6 personality who always wants to be a perfectionist and works very hard at it and does a good job at it as well. Those things are interfacing all the time, regardless of what personal year you're in. And when we look at numbers, 3s, 6s, and 9s do extremely well together. So you're in your 3 year, the universe is in its 6 year, and this month the universe is in a 9 month. So, I mean, everything is just kind of setting itself into motion to give you the best of everything.
Wonderful.
So, yeah, so it's playtime, have fun time, but put things in order time as well.
Good.
No shortcuts, kiddo. None whatsoever.
Okay.
So, and when we look at this, the middle name is the emotional side, and the last name at birth is the spiritual side handed down through the generations. So I take a look at first, middle, and last name. We see what's going on here. This tells me what's happening in your chart, and this is where karmic issues pop up. Okay, so if there's a lesson to be learned, this is where it shows. When we look at this first block represents the number 1. That's ego, self-esteem, and that. Yours is a 3, so you're very creative. You know who you are, you've got to get this out, and you want it to be played out right. The second set here, that's a 2, and that's about partnership, relationships, and issues with females. We all have them, but if we had no karma, we would have a very dull, boring life. And on top of that, it would be kind of like nothing, no honey, no vinegar, dull.
Right.
So you work very hard at being sensitive to what other people want, but you're also needing to let them know that you are also sensitive. You take in their issues as opposed to blowing it out, letting it get away. But your creative side is your work side. And it's all about details, and you are extremely good with the details. That's extremely important for you. Now, it happens to be a karmic lesson for you also, though. So when I get over here to the 4 area, which deals with work, it's a karmic issue. But your 3, your creative side, is all about the 4, so they've taken care of one another. It's kind of like tag team matching here.
Okay.
So when it comes to making changes, oh boy, you love change. You're a perfectionist at making change also, because that's a 6 for you. And if you look at the 6 here, the 6, when it comes to the given name at birth, the first name being the perfectionist, and your achievement number is also a 6. So that pretty well puts you in very good positioning. You can't take a back seat to anybody. If you tried, you would You would not be a happy camper. Let's put it that way. When it comes to relationships, you have 1/6 here in this box, and it always tells me you give too much. So you need to kind of back up a little bit. Let somebody do for you for a change. You quit taking in all this, and because the more you give, the more they take. And then all of a sudden one day you wake up and go, wait a minute, has anybody noticed I'm still in this picture? What about me? So that works from there. When it comes to the number 7, that's also a karmic issue, because you have to learn patience.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
true.
But that's the one that makes you pull things to the foreground. But when it comes to how you handle yourself financially, emotionally, in control of things, right on target. And the best part is you creatively do all things for the world at large, and what you do for everybody else is where the key comes from, and the key is. Any questions? I'm going to ask you a question. Have you had any water problems this month?
Yes.
That is the weak link to the month.
Yes.
Okay. And the nice part is, when the month is over, so will the problem.
Good. Good. Such a good thing to hear.
I just thought you'd be need a little tidbit of saying, this is not so bad.
Yes.
You can work it forward.
Yes. Well, thank you.
You're
This
more
is
than
very
welcome.
insightful, very helpful. Thank you.
Anytime, my darling.